Welcome to the deep dive. We're going to jump into a really significant football match from recently.
Yeah, one that gave us a lot to think about. Tactics, teams, and, well, one particular player.
Absolutely. So our mission here is to sort of unpack the key insights, the takeaways, maybe even some surprising bits from this game.
It's definitely a match that shone a light on, history, but also maybe where these two teams are heading. Lots of drama.
Okay, let's get into it then. The match we're talking about, Portugal versus Germany. UEFA Nations League semifinal.
And the big news from it, Portugal won, beat Germany in Germany, which is, a big deal. They're through to the final.
Playing there, yeah, that stands out. And the goal that sealed it, from someone you might not expect to still be deciding these massive games, Cristiano Ronaldo, at 40.
Exactly. That's the headline grabber, isn't it? 40 years old, scoring the winner. But when you dig a bit deeper, the history makes this win even bigger.
How so?
Well, believe it or not, this is the first time Portugal have actually beaten Germany since 1985.
Wow, 1985. Seriously, that's what, 4 decades?
4 decades of waiting, yeah. To finally get one over Germany again. Quite something.
That really puts it in context.
It does. And if you look just at competitive games, proper tournament matches, it's been 25 years.
25. So the last competitive win was?
Euro 2000. That was the last time.
Euro 2000. Wait, that rings a bell. There's a connection there, isn't there? A really interesting one.
Oh, it's fantastic. So back in that Euro 2000 game, the hero for Portugal was Sergio Conceição. He scored a hat-trick against Germany.
Right, I remember that. Legendary performance.
Yeah. Now, fast forward 25 years to this game. Portugal need an equalizer. Who comes off the bench to score it?
Don't tell me.
His son, Francisco Conceição.
No way. That's genuinely incredible. Father and son, crucial goals against Germany, all those years apart.
Yeah.
What was the son's goal like?
Oh, it was special. Described as a bit of magic, Real individual brilliance. Got the ball, beat his man Gosens, cut inside, bang, left foot strike. Keeper had no chance.
Wow. A bit of flair then. And the crazy thing is, Francisco wasn't even born when his dad scored that hat trick.
Exactly. It's like something out of a football fairy tale, isn't it? A proper generational story.
Amazing stuff. Adds a whole other layer to the win.
Definitely does.
Okay, so let's track back a bit. How did the game actually play out? Because
Correct.
Germany scored first, right?
They did, yeah. Second half, Florian Wirtz. Nice header, actually. Came from a really good cross from Kimmich. Looked like Germany were maybe taking control at home.
But Portugal fought back. A proper comeback win. A remontada, as they say.
That's right. And, winning like that, coming from behind, it does wonders for a team's belief, doesn't it? Shows that grit.
Yeah, huge for morale. Now, talking about the team, the analysis also mentioned the manager, Roberto Martinez, Bobby Martinez. He's someone who's, had his critics over the years.
He certainly has. People look back at his time with Wigan, then Everton, and of course that Belgian golden generation.
Right. The feeling was maybe they didn't quite hit the heights expected under him.
Yeah, there's been that narrative. So he's often been, maybe, an easy target.
So given that background, what was the take on his management in this specific game?
Well, this is interesting. The analysis actually gives him quite a bit of credit. It says his changes, his tactical decisions during the match, were decisive.
Really? So he got it right this time?
Apparently so. Had a big impact on turning the game around. The substitutions, the tweaks, they worked.
Can you give an example? Any specific move that stood out?
Yeah, bringing on João Palhinha later in the game, that was highlighted as a really smart, sensible decision.
Why Palhinha specifically?
Just to add that extra defensive solidity in midfield, Protect the lead. Basically, the analysis said it was about shutting the shop, making sure they saw the game out, sensible game management.
Okay, fair enough. Smart coaching playing its part. But what about the players themselves? The overall Portugal squad? What's the verdict there?
The term used was pretty striking. A talent warehouse.
A talent warehouse.
Yeah.
That sounds impressive.
It paints a picture, doesn't it? Just immense quality all over the park. Especially, mention the wings and the midfield options they have. Deep.
So, loads of potential then.
Absolutely. And based on that, the analysis makes a really strong point. It argues that if this group of players, this generation, doesn't win a major trophy soon, it would actually be a disaster.
A disaster? That's strong language.
It is, but when you see the names Rafael Leão, Gonzalo Ramos, João Felix, also in the squad, You kind of see why the expectation is so high. The talent is undeniable.
That's setting the bar extremely high. But didn't Portugal win the First Nations League? They have some history here.
He did, yeah. Won the very first edition. So they know how to win this specific competition, which obviously helps.
Right. Okay, let's pivot back to the man of the moment, really. Cristiano Ronaldo, scorer of the winner at 40. This is where it gets, well, just fascinating.
It really is a phenomenon, isn't it? Just defies logic almost.
The analysis is grounded, though. It starts by saying, look, let's be realistic. He is past his absolute peak physically.
Of course. You have to acknowledge that. Age catches up with everyone. Eventually.
But, and this is the big but.
Yeah.
The analysis really hammers home how extraordinary it is that, despite that, he's still the one scoring the winner. Against Germany. In Germany. In a semifinal. At 40.
It's just remarkable. It's not just participating, it's deciding huge games. And some of the stats quoted are, frankly, hard to believe.
Go on, hit me with them.
Okay, get this. 85 international goals scored after he turned 30.
Wait, say that again? 85 goals after 30.
85! It sounds like a mistake, doesn't it? But it's right. And the point made is, think about how many countries' all-time top scorers haven't even scored 85 goals in their entire career.
That's insane.
For him, that's just like the later part of his career. The analysis literally says this is not normal.
You can say that again? Not normal feels like an understatement. What about the overall totals?
Total international goals, 137. Total career goals,
937.
937.
Again, the emphasis is just these numbers are outliers. They're not normal. It's staggering. It feels like stats from a different era, or like you said, a video game.
It's almost impossible to contextualize. And the analysis also mentions his club form. Still banging them in for Al Nassr in Saudi Arabia. Top scorer again, back-to-back golden boots there. 99 goals for them now.
Yeah, though people always debate the league's quality.
True, and the analysis acknowledges that debate. But it asks a fair question. Okay, if it's that easy, why aren't all the other big names there racking up those kinds of numbers? Plus, he's still scoring for Portugal in competitive qualifiers, too. It's not just club form.
That's a good point. The consistency is unreal. So the big question is how? How is he still doing it?
Intelligence. Adaptability, that's what the analysis points to. He's changed his game. He's not the winger who'd beat 5 men anymore.
Right, he had to adapt.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's evolved. Much more of a penalty box presence now, focusing on movement, timing, finishing. And that evolution, that willingness to adapt rather than just fade away, is called commendable. He hasn't given up. He's just got smarter about how he plays.
Okay, let's break down that winning goal itself.
Yeah.
Because the analysis went into detail, didn't it?
Yeah.
It wasn't just a simple tap-in, even though it looked like one.
Precisely. The finish itself was straightforward, right place, right time. But the build-up tells a much richer story. And guess who started the whole move?
Go on.
Cristiano Ronaldo. By pressing the German goalkeeper, Ter Stegen.
Ronaldo pressing the keeper. At 40.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. That's what makes it such a great detail from the analysis. His pressure forced Ter Stegen into a rushed clearance. Portugal win the ball back high up the pitch, suddenly in a dangerous area.
Ah, okay, so his defensive work, his pressing actually created the attacking opportunity. That's brilliant.
It really is. So Portugal get the ball back, keep it nicely, and then there's this moment of quality. A really sharp one, too. Nuno Mendes, who'd come infield from left back, played it to Bruno Fernandes.
Okay.
Mendes' movement was described as brilliant, really clever, and Bruno's return pass, called exquisite, just sliced the defense open.
Lovely bit of interplay. Portuguese flair.
Textbook stuff. And while this is happening, Cristiano makes his move. Smart run in behind the German defense. It looked close, maybe offside.
Yeah, always the risk with those runs.
But the semi-automated offside tech confirmed it. Onside, just, and then the tap-in.
So there was a combination of things.
Mm-hmm.
His initial press, great skill from Mendes and Bruno, his intelligent movement, and the tech confirming it was all good. Much more to it than meets the eye.
Absolutely. And it was noted that after scoring, Ronaldo went straight to Nuno Mendes, acknowledging that pass, that run. Bruno obviously key too. A real team goal, initiated by the eventual scorer's pressure.
And thinking about that build-up, the way Portugal got through,
Yeah.
does that link back to what the analysis said about Germany's issues?
Directly, yeah. The analysis mentioned Germany lacked a bit of dynamism, maybe athleticism, and control in midfield, and that their defense, even playing with 5, looked vulnerable.
So that goal kind of exposed those weaknesses.
It seems so. Poor pressing maybe from Germany in that moment, letting Mendes and Bruno combine. It all tied together.
Right. It really paints a picture of Portugal exploiting those gaps. Now, this brings us to a crucial point the analysis raised about Portugal's strategy going forward, managing Ronaldo's minutes.
Yeah, this is the big balancing act for Martinez, isn't it? The analysis argues pretty strongly that he needs to be sensible, wise about how much Ronaldo plays, especially in big tournaments.
And the reasoning is just his age.
Basically, yeah. Physical reality. At 40, can he really start every game, play 90 minutes every 3 or 4 days at the absolute highest intensity? Probably not. It's about managing that physical load.
Makes sense. But it's not saying bench him completely.
No, not at all. That's the counterpoint. It stresses that even with managed minutes, he can still make a big difference. His intelligence, his movement off the ball, the fear he puts into defenders, that's still massive.
So it's about maximizing the impact he can have without overdoing it.
Exactly. And crucially, the analysis adds that this requires Ronaldo himself to be okay with that, willing to perhaps accept a slightly different role sometimes, maybe not starting every single game.
That's always the tricky part with legendary players, isn't it?
It is. It needs buy-in from everyone. And the analysis actually used other moments from this specific Germany game to kind of underline this point about managing his impact.
Oh, yeah. What sort of moments? Beyond the goal?
Well, there were glimpses of the old power, like an amazing leap he had for a header from a corner. Still got that spring. But then there were other chances.
Missed chances.
Yeah, moments where maybe the execution wasn't quite there. A potential tap-in from a Mendes cross that he sort of fluffed, didn't connect properly. A shot in the first half that was a bit weak. Another moment where he seemed to miss his kick.
So the intelligence and movement are still getting him into the positions.
Absolutely. He's there. He finds the space. That football brain is sharp as ever.
But maybe the finishing isn't quite as automatic, as clinical as it was in his absolute prime. Is that the idea?
That seems to be the conclusion drawn from watching those moments in the analysis, yeah. He gets the chances, which is huge, but converting them isn't guaranteed every single time like it perhaps once felt, which, reinforces the argument for using him smartly. Get the most out of those killer instincts when it matters most, maybe without demanding 90 minutes week in, week out.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So just to round things off on Germany, the analysis wasn't too kind to their overall display.
No, it doubled down on those points, really. Midfield issues, lack of athleticism, control, defensive problems, looking shaky, even when they packed the defense.
And the takeaway for their coach, Nagelsmann.
Pretty clear message from the analysis. He's got work to do. Changes are needed based on that performance. Seems they're still searching for the right balance.
Okay, so let's try and pull all these threads together then. What are the main things we've learned from this deep dive into the analysis of that Portugal-Germany game?
Well, first off, a huge result for Portugal, breaking that long winless streak against Germany. Massive psychologically.
Driven by a few key things.
Yeah, driven by, it seems, some smart tactical calls from Martinez, the sheer depth of quality in that Portuguese squad, the talent warehouse idea, and of course, the enduring, almost unbelievable impact of Cristiano Ronaldo.
It really highlights Portugal's strength, but also maybe a unique challenge they face.
Exactly. Because while Ronaldo at 40 is still clearly a weapon, a match winner, the analysis makes it clear that managing him effectively is going to be absolutely crucial. It's a different situation compared to Germany, where the analysis suggests more fundamental changes might be needed.
Right. So it leaves you thinking, doesn't it? Portugal have maybe their best ever generation of players bursting with talent everywhere. But does having this iconic, aging superstar, still capable of brilliance but needing careful management, actually make winning that elusive major trophy more likely because he can produce magic moments? Or does the whole strategic puzzle of fitting him in perfectly add a layer of complexity that could potentially trip them up? It's a fascinating situation for them.